why do you have to learn to what is the relevance of addition of angular momentum in the hydrogen atom problem? The relevance is that, see, we have so far studied the uh, L quantum number, L square Lg operator as far as angular momentum constant in the hydrogen atom, right? But we also know that there is something called spin. Okay, we are going to spend some time for spin later, but at this point, we 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 we, we realize that there is something called spin. So, okay, before we do that, maybe it's a good idea to tell what is the what is the role played by spin in the hydrogen atom problem? We have already solved the hydrogen atom problem, not solved, but we discussed the hydrogen atom problem. So we wrote the eigenvalues and eigenfunctions. We discussed the degeneracy. We discussed the simultaneous operators. We discussed the expectation values. We discussed the orthonormalization. We discussed the degeneracy. Several things we have discussed, right? But we did not discuss anything about the spin. Yesterday, somebody was asking continuously, not continuously, 2-3 times, there was some confusion about the energy, about the 2n square, right? So the 2n square is actually coming from the energy expression, and if you work out the atomic units properly, you will get -1 over 2n square. So there should not be no confusion about that. But before we go to the addition of, so we need to learn addition of angular momentum for many reasons, because the moment you go to the 2 electron problems or more than 1 electron problem, so what happens is that you have the angular momentum associated with electron 1, you have the angular momentum associated with the electron 2, right? So you need to learn how to add the angular momentum of 2 electrons. This is one thing. But when I said that angular momentum of electron 1, I also have to now specify that there is an angular momentum of electron 1 for orbital motion and also for the spin. So that means even if there is 1 electron, I still have to learn how to add the orbital and spin angular momentum, right? Okay? And so if I take more than 1 electron, so I have several possibilities. Suppose electron 1, electron 2, right? Electron 1 has L quantum number, that means associated with the L square, Lx, Ly, Lg operators, and also the spin quantum number, sorry, spin corresponding to the operator S square, Sx, Sy, Lc. Similarly, for electron 2, I also have L and S operators. So when I say addition of angular momentum, I have to learn, say for example, I call this L1, L2, S1, S2. How many combinations I need to learn? I need to learn what happens L1 and S1. I am not L1 plus S1, okay? I also have to learn L1 plus L2, L1 plus L2, right? So L1, S1, L1, L2, right? And what S1 plus S2, right? And is there any other combination? And there is another combination which is trivial. So you can write L2 plus S2, okay? But this is the same as L1 plus S1, right? So you have to learn how to add this orbital and spin angular momentum of either 1 electrons or 2 electrons, or orbital angular momentum of 2 electrons, or spin angular momentum of 2 electrons. That's the 3 combinations that we need to learn, right? So I can also write L1 plus S2, right? Okay. But before I do that, so I need to devise a general procedure for that. Okay, that is what is today's discussion about. It is, as you can see, it is the first gateway towards the many electron problem. So a major thrust of this whole semester is to understand the electronic structure for many electron systems. Okay, so the whole course is designed on that, but we had to work so many things for the hydrogen atom problem to illustrate the basic facts and topics. But now when we go to the more than one electron problem, we have to do a lot of background. So angular momentum addition is the first step of the background. Okay, there are several other things that we need to do, but this is one of the most important stuff. But as you can see, this is also required even for the hydrogen atom, because there is an L1 and S1, if I just call A1 for one electron. So, but before we learn what is the general procedure, I need to understand what is the consequence of spin in the hydrogen atom spectrum. Remember, hydrogen atom spectrum, I am not sure if I told, but in any case, so you see that there are, so these are your bound states. That means if you take the value of n, you will get the orbital energy, sorry, you'll get the energy according to the expression minus 1 over 2n square in the atomic units, right? So you can start with the ground state, which is minus half, minus 1 over 2 into 2 square, minus 1 over 2 into 3 square, that kind of stuff, okay? So of course you have 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, 3d, all will be of the same energy. Yesterday we discussed 4s, 4p, 4d, because there is no energy difference if you go from 4s to 4p to 4d to 4d, because energy depends on only in the n quantum number. But you also have to remember that is not the end of the story of hydrogen atom. This is only the bound states that we are talking about, right? But there is a infinite number of states. There is an infinite number of states which are the positive energy states after that. Okay, so these are the so-called continuum states. Okay, so when you talk about the spectrum of hydrogen atom, you have both bound states and continuum states. The real spectroscopy, when you actually work, when the spectroscopy is in working stuff, is in working motion, you need to consider both bound states and continuum states. Okay, so continuum states, understanding characterization and their properties is a whole new ballgame in physics. And bound states is also it's a totally entirely different kind of algebra mathematics that you need to learn. Okay, so we will not be concerned with the continuum states in future. You have already tested some continuum states in our model systems, which I have given you. But you should always remember that for any given atom, there are continuum states. We do not discuss them. Okay, it is there. Where are they coming from? They will come from the same Schrodinger equation. The H psi I is equal to EI psi I. The same Schrodinger equation will give you everything of a system that you want to understand. That is the first principle, that is the first postulate of quantum mechanics. So, as long as you have defined H properly, the solution will give you everything. Okay? Okay. So, with this much, let us move to understand what is the consequence of spin in the hydrogen atom spectrum. Can anybody tell me, or can anybody write what happens to the spectrum that we have discussed yesterday? How it will be changing the spectrum? Do you know? What will happen to the hydrogen energy and wave functions if I include the spin? Of course, I have to include spin because half of the particles in this world has bosons, you know. So you have to include the spin according to the statistics. Okay. So can somebody tell me whether spin will affect the energy of the hydrogen atom? Whether spin will affect the orbitals of the hydrogen atom? These are the two major questions I ask. Do you see the relevance of the question? Hello? Who can answer? Just try to tell me something, you know. Suranjana, can you say something about this? Spin, have you learned anything in the spin? I'm just asking the class. तुम लोग स्पिन पढ़े हो क्या? Hello? Yes or no? Or maybe little? No sir, no sir, no sir. Okay, okay. ठीक है, thank you. So, but you know that there is spin, okay? ठीक है. So the consequence of spin, what does spin do to the discussion that we have done yesterday? What it does is that your energy values do not change. That is why your energy values do not change if you include the spin. ठीक है? You understand? So minus 1 over 2n square still remains minus 1 over 2n square. So what is the big story? So that is why as long as people were just discussing about the hydrogen atom, they really did not need the spin. They could actually reproduce the experimental things, lot of things, not everything. There are a lot of most of the things which were available at that time from spectroscopy in the hydrogen atom were actually coming okay without the inclusion of spin. There are certain things which did not come, but those experimental developments happened much later. Spin actually was first coming in the mind of some genius, you know. Then once it was required on the basis of theoretical understanding, then we tested that, okay, let us see if this is what is the spin, why should then some lines will be more split, there will be more terms, etc., etc. And then these experiments were approached, and it turned out to be correct, right? I think what I want to say, another thing about spin is that, remember when we studied the the angular momentum, the commutation relations, I only told you when you studied this ladder operator approach, we already had that some of the quantum numbers, that J values, were actually half integral. Remember, we saw 0, half, 1, 3 by 2, etc. kind of stuff. The integral numbers were actually very nicely accounted for by the L quantum number. But as you know, the L quantum numbers cannot take the half integral values. So that was the first, that was the first question mark. So is there some other things going on in the subatomic domain for which there will be some cases where these half integral values will be taken? Right? That also led to the question. And then eventually, lot of discussions, lot of things happened from various angles. And then we came to this conclusion and convergence point that actually those J values, we 0, half, 3 by 2, 2, 5 over 2. So these zeros were by 1, L. But what about the half integral? They cannot take. So realize that there may be some quantum number which can actually these things. Saw that, okay, there is S. But it also has to be realized that it doesn't mean that S can take only half integral values. ऐसा नहीं है. L may not take half integral values, but S can take both integral and half integral values. Okay. So S can, just like it can take half, 3 by 2, 5 by 2, S can also take 1, 0, 2. That. Okay. Okay. So now let us discuss what spectrum of hydrogen, what speed. Remember, there is in the Hamiltonian, any term in the Hamiltonian on the spin. बात ध्यान में रखो जब हम तब we'll discuss in more. So your Hamiltonian is spin independent. Then how does the spin come into picture? The spin coming into the picture, what is that? Is video blurred? No, sure. What is video blurred? Is the video okay? Can you see the blackboard? Yes, audio is breaking too. Why audio is breaking too? Maybe I should bring it closer. Okay. Is this better now? Or the same? No, sir. Connectivity issue, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. Thank you. So let us see. I mean, these things are not in my hand. Oh, the clock has also stopped. I see. So what spin does is that it doesn't change the energy values, first of all. That is why there was no easy understanding to in the spectrum. But the second thing what it does is that, so what will happen to the eigenvalues? Spin is not going to change the eigenvalues. What about eigenfunction? Psi r theta phi. Yesterday we wrote the big form, psi n l m l. Remember, we never wrote anything called S in the hydrogen atom wave function. What spin does is that spin actually, it actually, so this is a spatial part, right? In the sense that this is corresponding to the position. Okay, so this, the whole thing, the whole orbital, see your orbital definition of 1s, 2s, 2ps, 2px, 3ps is not complete without the inclusion of the spin function in the orbital. So that is why you have said that an orbital is actually a product of space function and a spin function, right? So that means this is, so your, suppose I want to write 1s. Psi 1s orbital actually written not only r, but there has to be some spin. We'll discuss what is that parameter, but at this point I keep it as x. Okay, so what will be that variable, we'll discuss. But it is true that, so this is a space function. अभी तक हमने जितना सारे डिस्कशन किया श्रोडिंगर इक्वेशन का 1s 2s 2p whatever, those were without the spin. But every orbital also comes with a spin factor, right? Because electron has spin. So there has to be another function. Okay, I write big F or maybe big chi. Let us write chi, and with that, so there is a spin function. What is that function? That I will not discuss. That it is not possible to discuss at this point because that takes a lot of stuff. But there will be a spin function which will be multiplied with your space function. Then it becomes a spin orbit. That is why we call it a spin orbital. You must have heard about spin orbital. Have you heard about the term called spin orbital? Yes, no? No? Okay. So when you talk, if you did not hear, if you did not know, so then this is a big news for us, because when you speak about an orbital, it is actually a spin orbital that you are referring. An orbital without explicit mentioning always means a spin orbital, not just orbital. Okay, spin orbital means spin orbital. That means there is a space function, there is a spin function. Okay. The product of the space and spin function is a complete definition of an orbital, but as you can see, it is a single particle function because it is for one electron. Okay. Okay. So what happens to this orbital? So the eigenvalues are not changing. What happens to the orbital is that we will see that when there is a spin, electron has a spin half. Electrons are belonging to the spin half particles, right? So that means for each electron, for every electron, your S is only half. What it means is that it can actually degenerate, it can actually, so your S value, at this point, let us not talk too much, but you can consider this S as like your L. Okay, and if your L is 0, you have twice L plus 1 ml values, right? If your L is 1, I have, so this is 1, this is 3, L is equal to 2, this is 5, it goes like this, twice L plus 1. So for a given S, you also have twice S plus 1 values of spin states, right? Twice S plus 1 means 2 into half plus 1 is 2 spin states. That means S is equal to half gives rise to the 2 spin states. So what are those states? So I will have 2 spin states, one of them corresponding to the spin, say spin, 2 spin state. So I call it spin 1. And you have another function. So this psi Rx in presence of spin will be actually giving you two functions. One of them with the space function, with the spin function, which is one function. Spin one means spin. This gives rise to two values, or two function, right? Chi1, let us call chi1, and this is the same NL ML r theta phi into chi2 spin. I just did not write anything on the variable because we need to discuss. In the beginning, I discussed. So we'll have to find out what are those. But important thing is that I have one spin function, another spin function. But the way quantum mechanics is understood, these two spin functions, if you include in the hydrogen atom, right? So now if you take the, so if I take the energy, for example, psi 1s, H psi 1s, or say psi 2s, H psi 2s. So this H is what? This is the hydrogen atom Hamiltonian, right, for hydrogen atom. Suppose I also write psi 2p, H psi 2p, right? So can you please tell me what will be these three values in atomic units? What will be these three values? Just yesterday we studied. Who can say? Just write in the chat box if you cannot speak. What will be those expectation values? Priyanshu, can you share? Rohan? Abhilipsa? Adrija? Shiv Kumar? Nobody can answer this question? Come on, please. Madhur. Madhur is writing minus half. Acha. And then psi 2s is minus 1/4. What is psi 2p? Devasmita. Okay, first one is just minus half. See, if you do not talk, it is very difficult for me to proceed, you know. I do not know whether I am just blabbering, you know. Kroneker's delta. Kroneker's delta. How can these are expectation values? Psi, H, psi, right? So that means right? This is a general expectation value definition you have read, right? And then Kronecker delta is what? Kronecker delta is something like this. What it means? It is actually psi I, psi j, right? Please speak, you know. That's why you are coming to the
no operator.
Bolo?
If there is operator, it should be the expectation value. Kroneker's delta we use when there is no operator, we just take the conjugate and multiply it with that, and then we integrate.
So
Yeah,
what you said is not really making sense, right? You understand?
Ji.
So what will be the answer now that we have? So my question was psi 1s, H psi 1s. So just like this. This is the basic definition of expectation value we have learned. If you want to understand the what is the values a system can take, that is how you do it, right? Expectation values, right? Average expectation value, average x, average px, ये सब तुम लोगों ने किए नहीं हो? This definition you must have studied. How come that will not be the case? So you have written psi star. If it is x, we will write x o psi dx, right? That is what you did.
Sir,
Yes, Bono.
sir, in this integration, we psi star 1s, h in psi s integration. So h psi 1s will be e psi 1s. And so
Yes.
the e will go outside, so it will be psi star 1s psi star integration, which will be 1 because we know that these two functions are normalized. So the answer will be the energy value of that particular state, that n equal to 1 state for
Very
1
nice.
s.
Very nice. Very nice. That is true. That is what, yes, of course, that is, you see how silly this question has been, that, and you must feel yourself to be a little bit, awkward, that this is, just like Tahiti said, but there is a defect in your answering. One, but that is, I think, is acceptable because your concept is clear. So it is okay. But this statement is not correct. H psi s is not going to be half, and not going to be -1. Yesterday we discussed again and again. It is -1/2n square. So
Yes,
your
sir,
n is
minus 1/2 is.
minus half, right? So
Yes, sir.
just stay there. So this is minus half. This is minus. This should be.
Sir, this should be minus 1/2 into 2 square.
Okay. What about this?
Sir, this will be also minus 1/2 into 2 square.
Yeah, so you have given a reason, right? You have just explained, which I like it. But don't you think that it is a very, it's a very basic stuff that you have missed? The problem is that H psi is equal to E psi. You have gotten the orbitals from the solution of the Schrodinger equation itself, right? I'm telling the class.
Yes, sir.
So how can that be so hard? You just write H psi is equal to E psi, as Tahiti said, right? For each of them. Otherwise, what is the meaning of eigenvalue equation? Right? I did not realize that I have to explain this, but I just curiously asked. But please make sure that you understand these basic stuffs. H psi, what do you mean by H psi? Just like Tahiti said, so every time you have an H psi, this is what is expectation value. So you write this in this form, psi star this H psi. But what is H psi? H psi is E psi, right? H psi is E psi, you have already solved it. So eigenvalue जो है वही बैठेगा. So that means every time you have an H psi, you can write so psi 1s, H psi 1s. Just work out one of them, right? So what is the meaning? So psi star 1s, H d tau, right? But psi 1s means what? You have already solved the Schrodinger equation. H psi I is equal to E psi. You see how these simple things are so complicated sometimes if you do not realize. That is why Schrodinger equation is one of the most, there is a book called, the 13 most equations in the world, most profound equations in the world. There are many 13 such equations which have been identified by the people, of various people, You can read that book and Schrodinger equation stands one of them. But you see the structure is so simple, but it is actually very, very difficult. That is why people don't want to study quantum mechanics, especially the chemists. But you do not understand, it is so hard, it is so bad because you have already solved it, Baba. Day one से तुम ये इक्वेशन का लिख रहे हो, पर यही इक्वेशन तुमको समझ नहीं आ रहा है, right? You have already finished one semester, चाहे वहाँ पे spin ना हो, but at least these things you have learned. So it is not about that you did not do, but the thing is that you have not made the connection. And that is a problem with quantum mechanics for every student, right? So please be careful. So H psi is sitting in front of you. That is why there are certain things, even if somebody gives you the book, you will not be able to do it. It is a fact. Nobody learns difficult subjects by reading books. Okay? Symmetry is one of them. Quantum mechanics is one of them. Right? So H psi, just replace it. And then, as Tahiti said very clearly, he has told, and that is very good. So H psi s is equal to E psi s. E1s means what? Minus 1 over 2n square. E psi 2 means, right? Abhi samajh aa gaya sabko? Everybody understand? Sarvagya, you understand? Your confusion is clear now?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, अभी समझ आया सब जगह में. You understand, every time you have an eigenvalue equation, you have solved it. So operator expectation value has to give you that, right? Okay. Okay. So let us move forward. Now after so much of discussion, I forgot why I wrote this, man. Okay. Now I wrote it. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Now I remember why I wrote. So that means, let us elaborate this. So what is the meaning of this? Until this point, it was psi n l ml. So if I am working with 1s or 2s or 2p, you can write appropriately, say let us call it 1s, okay? And then h psi n l ml, which is of course eventually the values corresponding to the 1s d tau. This is what? And now H psi is equal to E psi, as we already discussed. But the problem is that the speed, the orbital, as I said, orbital is not the space part. There is a spin function. So that means every time you write this 1s, you actually, what you mean by 1s is not just this. You also have to write like this, psi n l ml 1s into a spin function. If you take the first function, so chi1, I will work with chi1, okay, spin, and then h, and then psi n l ml or, sorry, 1s, and then chi1 spin. And what is my volume element? So d tau, this is the space part, but I also have to have something for the spin, right? So there will be another integral, right, for the spin. Yes, but the problem is that spin is not a very continuous quantity. Your space is continuous, but spin is discrete. You understand? Spin only takes half values. That means there are only two states for a given electron, whether it is titanium atom, whether it is hydrogen atom, whether it is H2 molecule, whether it is fullerene molecule, whether it is any other protein or bioprotein or whatever. So as long as you have an electron, each electron has only two spins, one spin, but two states. Spin is the half value, okay? So that means I have one spin function, which is chi1, right? So this is not an integration, we will realize later. So this is a sum over the spin coordinates. That is the complete understanding of this equation. So every time we have set an orbital, so remember, until this point, of expectation value. But we are discussing the consequence of spin on the hydrogen atom problem. So that means the first consequence is that your energy was not disturbed. That is why you did not see anything in the spectroscope, because spectroscope measures the energy differences. There was no difference in the energy, so you said that everything is okay. But everything is not okay when you go to the minor details, because when you want to understand certain details, some properties we'll discuss. So then we see that, okay, it doesn't change the energy, but it actually impacts my wave function. How? Because there has to be a spin function in the every single orbital. So then I include a spin function. How many spin? So for each radial, for each spatial orbital, that means this kind of orbital, 1s, 2s, 2p, which I discussed yesterday, I have two spin orbitals. Then that is the reason your orbital can take two electrons, right? When you say that your orbital can take a maximum of 2 electrons, that is what is the meaning. 2 electrons have, one of them, both of them have the same spin, sorry, same spatial function, but one of them has the spin half function, one of them has the spin minus half function. That is how the quantum numbers, the Pauli exclusion principle you have read, that all the 4 quantum numbers cannot be same, right? So if I take 1s orbital, I have 2 electrons in the helium atom. So what are the 4 quantum numbers? You have said that Pauli exclusion principle tells that the 4 quantum numbers of these electrons cannot be same as the 4 quantum number of these electrons, right? So how does that happen? That happens, we'll work out more details later, but as long as it is 1s or say 2p, it doesn't matter, 2s. So what is the problem? The problem is that your NLML for both electrons are same. The quantum numbers for NLM for both the 1s electrons are same. So how does the universe work? It works by the understanding that now there is another function, another quantum number you have read. Everybody read quantum number of MS, right? Don't say that you have not studied. If you did not study, you could not pass out in the IIT or whatever exam you qualified, right? So this MS quantum number actually gives one value for this guy and another value for this guy. That is how the 4 quantum numbers of the 2 electrons are not identical. You understand? Is that clear? So why does it happen? Why is it happening? Because just like you said that this guy's NLML quantum number is same. So that means the spatial part of this electron and NLF quantum number of this electron is same. That means spatial part of the second function is completely identical. Your NLML quantum numbers remaining same means all the spatial function of the 2 electrons are identical. But their difference will come in a spin function, which will be different from this guy to this guy. That is why it is a spin 1 function and it is another spin function. How they are different, that we will understand later, but they must be different. You understand? So the moment you take this orbital, that means it is 2. So finally, so this expression was incomplete. You understand? Because there was no description of spin. You did not mention anything about spin. So this is not the complete expectation value for the many electron particles. It is okay for single part. It is okay for one particle, single particle in a box, infinite box, finite box, whatever problems, because you did not include spin. There was, that is why I told you, someday somebody asked a spinless particle, why did we speak? Because we did not have any complication. But now the electrons are spin, I must have a function like this. So that means this simplistic definition is somehow incorrect. I need to understand that there will be a spin function here and here, right? So what happens? Let us see how it impacts the expectation. So, okay, as per the discussion, I have included spin in the wave function, but my expectation value still not should change. How does that happen? It happens because you see this H will now operate on this total thing, right? This is a function, this is a function, but the problem is that H is a function, H is dependent only on the spatial positions, just like the way we did it yesterday and day before yesterday, all the time. So there is no mention of spin here. The class, somebody please, so that we can proceed. Is it okay?
Yes,
I believe, sir. Is it okay? और कुछ confusion है? Hello? No, sir. Okay. Okay. So you see this, just to understand, these are very interesting stuff, you know. H psi, now this H has to operate on this product function. That is my orbital. But the problem is that H doesn't have spin. So what happens? So this function I can just simply bring it back. So that means I can write this function as chi1 spin H psi NL/ML 1s d tau and d spin. Let us call spin for the spin part. But remember, spin always comes with a summation, not as an integration. It does at this point. Don't worry about that. So, but this guy is what Tahiti said. H psi is equal to is it exactly that is what we have been doing all the time. So I can write this guy to be H psi is equal to E psi. Right? It is an eigenvalue equation. So I can write E1s. E1s means what? Minus half 1s, minus half into eigenvalue, right? Sorry, eigenfunction. Right? Now you see that, so there is no operation, but psi 1s and psi 1s are orthonormal. You have read. So that means psi 1s star psi 1s d tau. Right? After this guy, what did you get? Minus half psi. H psi gave you this. There is a d tau, which is as such because it is only H psi. Right? Now what happens is that psi 1LM. So you see that this integration psi NLM 1s psi. So this is star psi NLML 1s d tau. This portion I am looking from this expression. So that is what 1s orbital is normalized. Psi 1s star psi 1s, just like Kronecker delta, it should give you only 1. Right? So that means I can remove psi NLMS, also the integration, and this guy, and d tau. This I get only half. It's only half, and this is whole stuff is in 1. So now what is left with me? So let us write it. Half. So the spin portion has summation. So this is an into sign. So I can remove. So what I am left with? So there is a spin. I just gave ds, but it will not be ds in the later life. We will see. But for the sake of discussion, let us call them, because there is no volume element, right? Because it is a sum. So there is some index over here that we will do later. But the thing is that these spin functions, you see chi1, this should also be chi1 star, just like psi, because this came. So chi1, just like your space function, like you have written psi 1x, let us not confuse, let us say function fi fj is equal to delta ij, if it is orthonormal, right? So this function, when it is particle in a box or some other property, it is a space function. You have written that, right? But the thing is that the spin functions also follow the orthonormality principle, right? So if it is a spin function, say spin function chi1, right? They also follow the orthonormality principle. That means it is 1. And chi1, chi2. And remember, it is chi1. We have just taken this orbital. If I take this orbital, it will become chi2. So chi1 d tau, that also gives me 1 with the summation. So that means I leave. So you see, my energy finally became only minus half. Right? So spin, the introduction of spin in the orbital doesn't change your energy value. Okay? But what it does, it brings it makes every, so how much, what is the degeneracy, what has happened to the spectrum now? So that means you started with this, then this, then this, then this, like this. So now this is your 1s, this is not 1s, of course you can call, this is 2s, 2p, okay? 2s, 2p must be same orbital energy. This is 2s, this is 2p, degenerate, then 3s, 3p, 3d, this is how it goes. But, so this is the original, then there are continuum states, right? But now introduction of spin makes there are two levels, not just one, because there is a degeneracy of two. They both of them, this is degenerate. It is not, there is no difference. They will give you this. So I think it is better to make it like this. So no, it doesn't make sense because I have given space here for the 2s 2p. So these two energies are now degenerate. My ground state has now become two state. You understand? Huge problem for quantum mechanics, huge problem for spectroscopy, huge problem for experiments, right? We'll see that. So 2s also becomes two state. Every 2p orbital, 2px, 2py, so 2px, 2py, 2pz, they all become doubly degenerate because every electron has spin half. You see that? So every level you see will become doubly degenerate. That is what spin does. So what it may not have immediate impact on this, but it has huge impact when if you can devise some experiment where these degeneracies can be broken, then you will see more number of peaks. If you can break this degeneracy, if you can break this degeneracy, you see that they can make some transitions from this guy to this guy, this guy to this guy. So number of peaks are going to increase tremendously. You understand? So that was what happens when you, so that is what happens when you actually say spin orbit coupling. Spin orbit coupling is a thing like that. Is that clear now? So you understand how the spin actually impacts my hydrogen atom spectrum. The energy remains as such, but the orbitals become degenerate. And that is what is also reflected when you write the term symbol for hydrogen. You write 2s because this is a 2s plus 1. So we'll do this later. But just to tell you at this point, so this is 2s plus 1 because there is L is 0 and this capital L is also 0. The term symbol is S and this is 2s plus 1 is 2 into half plus 1 which is 2. So if somebody asks you the ground state of hydrogen, is it degenerate or non-degenerate? What is your answer? What is your answer? If you include spin, what should be the answer? Because in the interview of the PhD, we ask it continuously. Generally, very few people can answer. So it is degenerate, Rohan. What is the, how much is the degeneracy? Degenerate by how many states? Double. Yes, two degenerates. So you understand the orbital and state. For hydrogen, orbital and states are almost synonymous. But for many electrons, it is not going to be, right? So this is now a state. This is a complete state. This is a state. This is another state. So this is a state, this is a state, this is a state, this is a state. It seems that for hydrogen atom, an orbital can also be called as a state because there is nothing to add. You understand? But it is never going to be case for more than one electron. So never confuse state, electrons, orbitals, levels in your life. All of your seniors almost guaranteed to confuse this. Okay? So ध्यान में रखो. Okay. So, okay, the spin part, the effect of spin on the hydrogen clear. Now we can go to the original discussion that we wanted to discuss, how to add the spin, sorry, how to add the angular momentum. And I told you that there are four possibilities, L1, L2, S1, S2, L1, S2, and L2, S1. Right? So I need to devise a general scheme. What do I do? So first, what is the problem? Let us understand the problem. In quantum mechanics, generally the problem understanding is the big problem. Forget about answer. So the problem is like this. I have a angular momentum 1, angular momentum 1. I have an angular momentum 2. Where does angular momentum come? Angular momentum can come from orbital motion, or it can come from spin. Angular momentum too can also come from orbital motion or from the spin. Right? So there is no difficulty with that. So, but when I am talking about the addition, I must make it general. So I give a angular momentum to be the symbol m1. It can be L or S. And m2. This 1 and 2 is not saying you electron 1 and electron 2. It is not. It is just saying that two angular momentums. This is angular momentum 1. This is angular momentum 2. Right? So in our notation, so I can write L1, M1 to be L1. So let us make it clear so that you do not. So I can call M1 to be L1, M2 to be L2. That is 1. I can call M1 to be S1, M2 to be S2. These are particles. These are two electrons, but not these. Make it clear. I can also call L1, S2. That means particle 1, electron 1's L, electron 2's S. Electron 1's S, electron 2's S. Electron 1's L, electron 2's L. And I can also make S1, L2. Electron 1's S, electron 2's L. These are the four possibilities. So even if it is two electron, even if it is one electron, so look at this, L1, I can also have L1, S1. Did I write that? L1, S1. Okay, I did not. And I can also have S1, L2, S2. Right? Even if I have even if I have the electron 1, my still M1 can be M2. Even if it is L1, L and S corresponding to the electron 1, but my M's can have 1 and 2 because these are two different angular momentum. Is that clear? So, sir, can you please explain the difference between state and orbital again? Okay, state and orbital again. Why not I ask the class to do that? Who will have the courage? Orbital and state, that's a very fundamental question. Who will take the courage? Nobody comes forward? Bolo? Okay. Please say something, you know. I'm waiting. Abhilip sir. या तो ताहिती बोलो.
Sir, orbitals are the solution of the Schrodinger equation, and if by solving we saw that there are two possible states of electron in a particular orbital. So,
But orbital is only a one particle function. Schrodinger equation solution करने के बाद केवल एक ही तो इलेक्ट्रॉन का फंक्शन आएगा. That is not the
yes,
definition.
sir.
Please make it clear. Try. Say something more.
So the orbital is the solution of the Schrodinger equation, and
wait.
electron.
Orbital is a solution of the Schrodinger equation. What about state? A state is not a solution of the Schrodinger equation?
Yes, sir. State should also be a solution of the Schrodinger equation.
That is the problem, no? That is why it is the question. So then what is the difference?
Sir, in a particular no, sir, I can't frame it actually.
No, but don't you think that as a third year student, after you have finished first one quantum chemistry course, you should be able to understand this difference.
Yes,
All
sir.
of you, did not you think about it? You are doing assignments, you are asking for all these difficult questions. Where is fullerene going, etc., etc., all kinds of drugs and this. Don't you think that you should have a clear picture of the orbital and state? Okay, but it is a nice try. You have given, yes, Abhilip sir, please.
I just don't know, but I'm trying. Like orbital is just the special representation of the thing that the electron is present. But eigenstate is something that we get from the Schrodinger equation.
You can say, you can just make a lot of synonyms, but it still is the same thing that she has said. But the fundamental question is that orbital is not an eigenvalue solution. Is not it a solution of the eigenvalue equation? State, is it not a solution of the eigenvalue equation? You have given a synonym of what she has said.
Yes.
You have just rerouted the question in a different way. That doesn't work in science. You understand, my question is that orbital is also a solution of the Schrodinger equation. State is also a Schrodinger equation, solution of the Schrodinger equation. So where is the difference? Okay. Okay. Please. So see, okay. Orbital is a house. Orbital is a house, is a room where electrons can be put. Okay. When you solve the Schrodinger equation, you do get state in general, because subsystem में दुनिया में orbital नहीं है. Particle in a box, you did not have orbital. Finite box, infinite box, you did not have orbital. What did you have? You had a state. ठीक है? State is universal. For every system, quantum system, you talk in terms of states. Orbital is a special kind of state for special kind of quantum systems. You understand? Is it clear, Abhilip sir?
Yes, sir.
Orbital is a special kind of room for special kind of quantum systems. Atoms, molecules, electrons, protons, तुम्हारा fullerenes, तुम्हारा जो biomolecules, whatever, everything belongs to that. Wherever there is an electron, we call it an orbital. But the big difference that you should appreciate is that, that's why I told you several times, for hydrogen atom, for one electron, you may not appreciate the difference between a state and an orbital, because they seem to be synonymous. They are synonymous because you have a state and orbital with the same. There is nothing different in a state and orbital in one electron. But the moment you have, why? The moment you have more than one electron, suppose I have this lithium, 1s to 2s, right? How many orbital I have? I have 1s orbital and 2s orbital. Let us talk about lithium. I just deliberately took क्या बोलते हैं तुम्हारा lithium, not helium, because helium also you might confusion. That is why I have taken. So lithium, I have 1s to 2s. So this is actually a configuration. You have said 1s to 2s, right? Now, where is my orbital? Where is my state? When I am solving the Schrodinger equation for the lithium atom, what do I get? Let us see. H psi I is equal to epsilon I. The same equation I will solve for the lithium atom, but with the Hamiltonian appropriately changed for lithium atom, not the hydrogen atom, right? So once I solve this, what do I get? I will get the orbitals. It is true. Okay. So that is how your 1s will come, your 2s will come. But when you are writing this, when you are working on spectroscopy, when you are drawing the energy spectrum, when you are doing the energy level diagram in your life, you are never doing it for the orbital. You have completely mistaken. You are always in the transition metal chemistry, when you write T2G and EG, please be careful about orbital and states. You are actually writing for states. So what happens is that ये orbital तुमको मिला है, but you need to find out the states which are coming from these orbital combinations. That is means every configuration gives you to so many states, and that is what you have learned when you did 2p2. For example, you must have worked out how many microstates you have worked out. Did you work out? If you did not, it is fine. I'm just asking. Anybody remembers? P2, 15 microstates. We'll work it out. So that means the configuration is 2p2. How many orbitals? 2p2 means 2p2 configuration is how many orbitals? ये तो बोल सकते हो. 3 orbitals. 2px, 2py, 2pz. Okay? And if I include the spin, that means 2px like that hydrogen. 2px up, 2px down. 2py up, 2py down. 2pz up, 2pz down. So that means including spin, I have only 6 orbitals. But these 6 orbitals, when you bring 2 electrons into them, gives rise to 15 microstates. This will be worked out. That means, so that is the difference between orbitals for more than 1 electron. So you can see that more clearly. So a configuration gives rise to many states, and each configuration has several orbitals. Is that clear? So that means every time you have been given a configuration, means you are already putting the electrons into the orbitals. So from this whole configuration, 1s2, 2s2, 3p, etc., whichever you are writing, you need to find out what are the corresponding states. Samjhe? Is that clear? Hello? 3, 15. Yes, somebody wrote 15. That's right. Shiv Kumar wrote 3. That is not correct. So do you understand the difference? Maybe we can discuss more in the, but okay. So do we have a class in the Saturday or some tutorial or something? I please forgot. Remind me. Are you going to have a class on Saturday? Surbhi and who is that? Sanchai. Who can say?
There was a tutorial scheduled to be at 2 p.m.
This is on Saturday, right?
Hmm.
Okay. Yes? Or any confusion is there?
So will you be able to take the class in LHC? Means will the campus be open on Saturday?
Campus is always closed. Campus is always open. I'll speak to the security. Yes, I'll
If
see.
we'll get the access to the green board, matlab, that's what I mean to ask.
Green board means?
Blackboard, green board. Matlab, if matlab,
Oh, the means G05, G06 you are talking about?
हाँ कि मतलब बोर्ड पे पढ़ाई होगी या फिर नॉर्मल ऐसे कैसे करेंगे अगर सैटरडे को अगर
नहीं ऐसे ही करेंगे. यहाँ पे ही होगा तो करेंगे. यहाँ पे ही करेंगे. यहाँ पे तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना.
नहीं सर सब
तो यहाँ पे ही करेंगे. ट्यूटोरियल तो बोर्ड में विदाउट ब्लैक बोर्ड नथिंग, राइट?
या
So we'll do the tutorial on Friday. Okay, sorry, Saturday 2 o'clock. Okay, let us. Can I say something? Can you do it little later? 2 o'clock is Saturday after lunch is bad timings.
आपको आफ्टर लंच नहीं चाहिए?
We can do it by 12 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Not this 2 o'clock is little bit boring if it is possible, you know.
We'll discuss in the group and let you know.
So see if it is possible to have it at 12 o'clock.
Actually,
Okay.
we have classes from 3:30 to around 6.
Oh yeah,
And-
plus. Okay.
And one class is from 11 to 12, and it's also tutorial, so it might extend to 12:30 or something.
So because it is a tutorial, now we should have little more time, 2 to 3.
We should
So-
give some buffer time.
Yeah, so just take some extra time. ठीक है. Then if it is wherever you can have some extra time, that should be nice. ठीक है.
ठीक है जी
So just please confirm in the WhatsApp the timings. Okay.
जी
Okay. Thank you.
yes thank you
See you. Okay. Bye bye.
bye.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, बोलो.
Sir, I'm from physics, and we have a test on Saturday.
Okay. So what?
So, so can the extra class be taken on Wednesday?
Oh, after all the discussion, you are saying this?
Because only two people are, two or three hardly are from physics.
So what? You should tell in the beginning,
Yeah,
two.
so I
Okay, we'll do everything for even one person, right? So, okay, so then I can, I will have to postpone, but you should never hesitate because you are two, okay? You should see the movie called The Power of One, forget what we never behave like this, okay? So, ठीक है, but your classroom,
okay. And sir, can you explain about that 15 states? I don't have transition chemistry course either.
okay, you do not have a class at this point?
No, I don't have.
Okay, ठीक है, चलो बात करते हैं. Oh, wait a second. Is the recording को बंद कर देता है? You can, okay. It is, in any case, I think I just switched up the audio, I guess.
Your audio.
Audio is on, okay. So it doesn't matter whether you are from physics or chemistry. So what happens is, in fact, in this class, we are going to discuss in more detail. This is a big problem for our students. Okay. I don't think it will be easy to explain to you why there are 15 terms, but let me make it clear. This is how the periodic table goes. Okay, let us make it interactive. Okay, so periodic table, you can write the electronic configuration of an atom.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Achha, very good. So, and you have the Schrodinger equation, you can solve just like everybody.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है? Schrodinger equation gives you the solution of the orbitals, just like I said. An orbital is not a state. Orbital is a place where electrons can be accommodated. Okay. So what is this? But when you talk about quantum system, you talk about state. ठीक है? तुम्हारा सब कुछ quantum system में, especially in physics, you must be talking all the time about states, right?
Yes.
Harmonic oscillator states, magnetic states, all kinds of Landau states, all kinds of states, right? Spin states, etc., etc. So it is no different here also. Here also you have states. But the thing is that what I have to learn is how to get the states from a given configuration. Orbital, this is my simplest definition of an atom. 1s, I'm just writing the ground state electron configuration. 1s to 2s, 1s to 2s to 2p6, whatever. If I take oxygen, 1s to 2s to, say carbon, 1s to 2s to 2p2. This is my carbon.
Yes, sir.
So the question is that these are, ये तो सब है spin orbital. Each of them are spin orbitals. A spin orbital can take only one electron, right?
Yes, sir.
Because it is a spin orbital, as I was telling. So what is 1s is actually a spin orbital. It has one electron with the same space part as the second electron, but the spin part of the two electrons are different. That is why this is called a spin orbital. This orbital is described by a function which is a spin orbital. This orbital is, this electron is also described by a function which is also a spin orbital. But when I put the two electrons in the same, in a given orbital, because it is two electrons with the same space part but two different spins, that is why I simply call it a spatial orbital. A spatial orbital can take two spin orbitals. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Two electrons with the. Now the question comes, where is my state in this all this discussion? Where is my state? because I have to talk in terms of the states. Every time you have a transition, you do not talk transition from this orbital to this orbital. That is a very misleading understanding of the system, right? You talk in terms of the states. So what happens is that you need to find out how many states are associated with this configuration. How many states are associated with this configuration? How many states are associated with this configuration? So there is a whole procedure to do that. How do we do that? In order to do that, I need to learn what we studied today, but we got diverted. We need to understand how the angular momentum of this electron, how the angular momentum of this electron and angular momentum of this electron can be coupled. That will give you the resultant state. How the angular momentum of this electron and this electron can be coupled. There is a very specific rule. That is what we wanted to understand today. So
What is the meaning of coupling?
that means we need to understand the coupling of the angular momentum.
No, I want to ask, what is the meaning of coupling of angular momentum? Like,
Okay, these are the questions that class should ask actually. What it means is that means you are actually bringing me to the objective of today's class, which we never started. The class was aborted because I had to discuss the spin. But so we'll discuss it today. But what it means is that, because you have raised this question, so I will answer this question. What it means is that, okay, abhi kuch nahi likhenge. For one electron, you have said that n, l, ml and ms quantum number. ms हमने define नहीं किया, but you know that there is an ms quantum number from your high school, right?
yes.
Okay, very good. So I have n, l, ml and ms quantum numbers. That means these quantum numbers can identify the state of a given atom, given electron in this quantum system, whichever system you are taking, right? Why? What is the meaning of these 4 quantum numbers? That means you can uniquely identify a state with the means of these 4 quantum numbers. Okay. Now the question is, when I say that why do I need to do this? That means, remember, I said so many things about these commutator relations. That means there must be, already we have proved that there are H, L square and Lg operators. We already proved that for all atoms, H, L square and Lg simultaneously commute. That means all your orbitals are simultaneously eigenfunctions of the 3 operators, H, L square, Lz, and that is why you wrote N, L, Ml.
Yes.
Okay? This is old stuff. But now you have also, we have to go one step further to see that what is the meaning of this Ms. Ms means you have another quantum number over here. So that brings you another 4 set of operator, S square and Sg. I told you that if you understand the angular momentum properties of the L operators, your S operator properties are exactly equivalent, right? That means L square Lz के साथ Lx के साथ Ly के साथ जो commutator relation है, it will be same exactly for S square. It can be easily proved. Right? So that means I have some other operators. My state is not uniquely defined by 3 quantum numbers. There are more quantum numbers. That means my orbital, which was before simultaneously eigenfunction of 3 operators, now is simultaneously eigenfunctions of 4 operators.
Okay.
You understand? So that means, just like I told in the class, the more and more information I have about you, it is easier for me to find out more clearly, right? Which direction, which this, the more and more important information. So those are the meanings of the quantum numbers, right? That is why it helps me to identify which state exactly is representing that. Okay? So I have 4 quantum numbers here. In fact, as the class, you will see that there will be still more quantum numbers, operators, which will be eigenfunctions of these orbitals. That will take slowly and slowly.
So,
But-
but
Yes.
for these operators can be written in matrix forms, right? So for a definite n by n matrix, then we can't have infinite number of eigenvectors that will simultaneously will be eigenvectors of these 3.
Uh, there is confusion in your statement. You will have to write, we'll do that. We'll represent the operators by some matrices. It is true that some Schrodinger eigenvalue equation will be written in the matrix form. We'll do that.
Okay.
Okay. But it doesn't change your physical interpretation of an operator or eigenvalue, because eigenfunctions you can write, because you have read probably, so you know that eigenfunctions can be written as a column matrix,
Yes.
right? So, and your Hermitian operator can be written as an n by n matrix. पढ़े हो तुम? ठीक है? So this equation can be written in the matrix form. But that is only a representation of the same differential equation in order to facilitate our solution. It doesn't change our physical understanding of the system. It's just an equivalent way of writing the expression in a fanciful and convenient way. That's right. Right. So do not confuse that with the physical understanding of orbital or state. It has nothing to do with that, right? Everything will be preserved. What is important is that you have more operators here, which are simultaneously eigenfunctions of your state. Okay. What will happen is that the moment I have more particles, like for example now 1s, 2s, for example, let us talk about this. You know what is going to happen? This electron has 4 quantum numbers, n, l. So I can write n1, l1, ml1, ms1, right? And this electron I can write n2, l2, ml2, ms2. You see that? I can write, right?
Yes.
Now if I have more electrons, what do? I understand the interaction between 2 electrons, and then I will make a sum that will become like 1 electron, then I will increase it again, I will do it again for the 3rd electron. So that is why I never have to learn what happens the 3 particle interaction. We just are happy with 2 particle interactions, right? So just coupling of 2 angular momentum is good enough for me. The rest I can always build up, right? 1 plus 1, I can do the addition. So the problem here is that L1 ML1 is MS1, L2 ML2 S2. Now your Schrodinger equation is about what? तुम्हारा जो eigenvalue जो equation solve करके तुमको मिलेंगे, what you will get? Psi 1s and psi 2s, right? After all these very difficult things which you will do. But the question is that these orbitals, hydrogen के लिए तो eigenfunctions, now how many operators you have? You see that L1 square, let us write L1 square, Lg, and let us call S square, 1 square S1g, because 1 means the first electron. I am giving an 1 here. I need to give here because S1g, right? You understand? This is part. For this particle, I have similarly L2 square, L2g, S2 square, S2g. I have 4 operators.
Yes.
Now the question is that, but when I have the solution, that you need to think, not just mathematically. You need to understand. So what are my designations of this operator? Because this operator has a single particle function, but this is not exactly, this has come from the solution of a whole interacting system, for which you wrote the Hamiltonian to be H1s2 plus H2s1. So these are coming from the solutions of an interacting system of 3 electrons, which has interaction between all the electrons, right? That is why it is so difficult. But eventually the solution हमको मिला है वो single particle solution है.
Okay, there are linear combinations.
But then what are my characterization? Can I assign the question? Big question is that can I assign all the 8 quantum numbers to these electrons? That is the question. Forget about N1. L1, this is the question we are asking. MS1, because I want more designations. Can I write? That means, is this orbital is an eigenfunction of is simultaneously eigenfunction of all these quantum numbers? That is the question. Is this simultaneously eigenfunction? That means I have L2 square. सबका commutator क्या commit करेंगे? Because I am looking for more and more indices. I told you that is the basic fundamental principle. The more and more hints, indexes are just like your hints in the exam question paper. The more and more hints you have, the easier it is for you to answer. Right? You have infinite solution. So you need indexes to pinpoint your particular state. You have thousands and billions of states. Out of that, you want to uniquely identify states. How? By find out what are the corresponding. कौन सा identifier तुम्हारे लिए ठीक है? वही सबसे बड़े. You cannot take wrong hints. You understand? If I give a wrong hint, you can go to the wrong place. So there are two issues. So what is my correct hint, good hint, and whether it is acceptable? That is the question. And hints means your index. That means I need to understand whether I can assign all these quantum numbers to this orbital. Whether I can assign all these quantum numbers to this orbital. If you have more electrons, your problem is again more complicated. You see that if I take 1s to 2s, I have another electron, right? L3, ML3, MS3. तो ऐसे जितना इलेक्ट्रॉन बढ़ता जाएगा तुम्हारा इंडेक्स बढ़ता जाएगा. Can I take all these? That is the question. सबके लिए, you understand? So that question has to have an unequivocal answer, and we'll see that they are not good quantum numbers. That means I cannot take these as good hints. Yeah, I will eliminate lot of hints. It is my wisdom which I have to use to find out that this guy is actually taking me to the right direction and this guy is taking me to the wrong direction. I must eliminate wrong. That means you will see that many of these indexes cannot be taken. You understand? When you have done this, that means you have found out what are the identification for a state. So that means when you have learned how to do this exercise, then you will come to the final question. 1s to 2s to 2p will give you only finite number of states. These are states. And you will find out those number of states by understanding the addition of angular momentum of all the electrons. You have each electron has an angular momentum here for space and spin, space and spin, space and spin, space and spin. सबका तुमको sum the resultant angular momentum है, that after learning to add them together, you will find out what is my good hint. Right? So from each configuration, you will learn how to find out. So if you do that, in the next class we'll do that, the 2p2 will give you 15 microstates. What are those microstates? That we'll discuss. How to get that, we'll discuss.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. See you then. So please make sure that we have discussed the time in the WhatsApp, okay?
Yes.
Please ask your friends to write what is the time, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Don't disturb. That's a nice one, okay?